Hi everyone, it's meteorologist Joe Chaffee. I thought we'd take a look at what's going on with respect to Hurricane Matthew. And what you're seeing here, these are actual observations along the south coast of Florida. We see some pretty gusty winds running to 30 to 35 miles an hour, but nothing overly excessive yet. And as we move up the coast, and I'll shift it over here, we can see some gusts to 33, 25. Sustained winds are generally running 15 to 20. We've got a 30-knot sustained wind being reported over near North Miami, and some gusts, as we said, out into the 30s. I just want to see, I'm going to go out to Freeport. I did see earlier a gust of 65 near High Rock in Freeport in the Bahamas, but they don't seem to be showing any observations yet. And as we move up the Florida coast a little further north, closer to the area that probably will see landfall, we're seeing some, winds up at like 30, 35. There's a gust of 41 miles an hour south of Sebastian, Florida, right near Vero Beach, with a gust of 41. So for now, the winds pretty much line up the way they should with respect to the hurricane. Now here it is on the radar. This is Miami's radar, and you can see there's actually a double eye. We're going through an eyewall replacement cycle. So the first eye now, when you see those reds, so that intensity's peaked, and now that area will degenerate, and then a new eyewall will take over. This area will take over and then gradually shrink. So we'll probably have some fluctuations in intensity for the next, until the storm makes landfall. So we are going to see, at times the pressures come up a little bit, at times the pressures will go down a little bit. Now I want to show you on the new GFS what happens as we take it along. It brings it right on shore near Vero Beach, Cape Canaveral, but it actually just kind of straddles it and keeps it barely offshore. On this particular run, it doesn't make landfall. Some of the other models do bring it on land, but we're getting these like shifts now left and right. So basically the model is going to do what the model does. We're just going to have to watch the radars and see what happens. And on this run, it does get a little bit further north before it makes the turn. It actually brings significant rain into North Carolina on Saturday, into Saturday night, and then into eastern North Carolina before it begins the loop. So the loop is a little broader on this run than the prior run, and then it still winds up going southwestward into the Bahamas. We don't have it out far enough. I want to show you too, that's Hurricane Nicole, so I'll just back it up and show you. You can watch what Nicole does in all this as it just kind of sits there and moves southwestward actually, and then Mathew comes around and they get pretty close. They get to within 500 miles or so of each other, and then you start to see that dumbbelling that's going on. It's just very odd to see that. They'll show you again. It kind of dumbbells around. Now, if we wind up with a second go-round here for Florida early next week, my concern is that as a weakening tropical storm, it could wind up setting up to be a big rainmaker, depending on how it weakens. So we're going to have to watch to see how that plays out. And the other thing is there will be hurricane conditions, spreading right up the coast into coastal Georgia and South Carolina. So, I wouldn't pay too much attention to exactly where the model puts the center. It could be, anywhere straddling the coastline or just off the coastline. So there will be some weakening as it interacts with the land. I think it'll probably be down to a Category 2 or a Category 1 by the time it gets to South Carolina, but it's just going to be a very, very slow process. So that pretty much covers it on this go-around. We'll do a longer Facebook post later on tonight around the usual time, probably after 8 o'clock. In the meantime, if you have family down in Florida, I hope you've gotten in touch with them to stay safe. If they live in coastal areas, they really need to follow the recommendations and advice of local officials regarding evacuations. I'm not really that familiar with the area. I can tell you one plus, relatively speaking, is the fact that the trajectory of where the storm, how it's coming up the coast, is probably going to minimize storm surge to some degree over southern and central Florida, and it may accentuate it a little bit northern Florida into Georgia and South Carolina. If this were coming in straight from the east, there would be a much bigger storm surge problem. But because it's coming up from the south, it really has not spent that much time, from going from Cuba to where it is now. So the surge can only build so high. It's only traveled over a limited amount of ocean. So that is a positive, and it is moving at about 15 miles an hour or so. So at least from that standpoint, we're not looking at something that's going to stall. It's going to keep on going, and it's a 12-hour ride of 12 to 15-hour ride of nasty weather and possible hurricane conditions before weather conditions improve. So we'll do this again probably after 8 o'clock. Have a great evening, and we'll see you later.